If your life feels like it is falling apart right now, good. You heard me. The chaos, the deep uncertainty, the painful feeling that the ground is crumbling beneath your very feet is not a curse. It is the sacred signature of the divine, the unmistakable sign that your soul is preparing to receive something magnificent. You have been taught to look for signs in the heavens, but the most powerful omens are the storms within. This process is not about what is happening to you. It is about what is being forged inside of you. A greater consciousness, a more powerful version of yourself, is demanding to be born. And it cannot, and will not, fit into the small confines of your old world. So that old world must fall. Stay with me. Because by the end of this message, you will no longer see your struggle as a setback. You will recognize it as your coronation. You will understand the divine law that states, God, the great I am within, does not just hand you the blessing. First, he transforms you into the person who can finally contain it. You feel it, don't you? That deep, unsettling stirring in the very foundation of your world. You've prayed for a change, for a blessing so immense it would redefine your existence. And now, life feels uncomfortable. It feels uncertain. You look around and see chaos where there was once order, questions where there were once answers. Let me tell you a secret the masters knew. This is not a sign of failure. Oh no, this is the thunder before the rain. This is the sacred turbulence that precedes a great unfolding. You are not falling apart. You are being cleared. The universe, the great I am that you are, is making space. The discomfort you feel is the sound of your old reality dissolving to make way for the new one you have secretly, in the depths of your imagination, already chosen. This is the holy friction of transformation, the first sign that your inner world is about to manifest something magnificent. You are on the precipice of a great selection. This preparation, this divine reconstruction, is never a gentle process. It is a fire. It is a relentless, holy fire that melts down the very framework of the person you used to be. Every challenge, every unexpected setback, every moment of doubt is a tool in the hands of the infinite. It is chipping away at the limitations. You've carried the old assumptions that say, I am not worthy, or I cannot have this. You cannot carry that small version of yourself into the grand state you are destined to occupy. So, consciousness itself applies pressure. It introduces trials that seem designed to break you, but their true purpose is to break you open. To shatter the shell of your past self, so the immense power within you, the operant power that commands reality, can finally emerge. This discomfort is not a test of your endurance, but a measure of your expansion. It is the growing pains of your own divinity stretching its limbs. So when you feel lost, when the path ahead is shrouded in mist, give thanks. When your heart aches with a profound sense of uncertainty, rejoice. This is the signature of the divine at work. This is the ultimate confirmation that your prayer, your assumption, has been heard and is being answered. Discomfort is the language of creation. It is the sign that the fertile soil of your consciousness is being tilled, prepared for a seed of unimaginable potential. The old must be uprooted. The compacted earth of your old beliefs must be broken apart. What you are experiencing as instability is in truth the holiest of preparations. You are not being abandoned in the wilderness. You are being led to a sacred empty space within yourself, a space that must be cleared before the temple of your new reality can be built upon it. This emptiness is not an absence, but a presence, the presence of infinite possibility. Think of it this way. A small cup cannot hold the ocean. The blessing you have summoned with the feeling of your wish fulfilled is an ocean. Therefore, the cup, your consciousness, your capacity to receive, must be enlarged. This period of intense pressure is the divine force expanding the vessel that is you. It stretches your faith, it deepens your resilience, it widens your heart. It hurts because you are outgrowing the container you've known your entire life. This is not God testing you from a distance. This is the law of your own being responding to your command. To receive a great thing, you must become a great thing. And greatness is forged, not given. The heat you feel is the fire of that forge. The hammering sound is the rhythm of your own becoming. You are being made capable of containing the very miracle you have asked for. You are becoming the one who already has it. Look closely, then, at the turmoil. Do not turn away. See it for what it truly is. A divine confirmation. It is the physical echo of a future you have already selected in the silent halls of your own wonderful imagination. The chaos is simply the bridge between your old state and your new one. You are walking across it now. The shaking is not a sign that the bridge will collapse. It is a sign that you are in motion, that you have left the solid ground of who you were for the promised land of who you are becoming. You already are that new person. The world is just catching up. But this discomfort, this holy fire, it is only the surface of the great work. It is merely the clearing of the path. Now, go deeper. What happens when the path itself begins to demand that you let go of what you hold most dear? This uncomfortable path, this sacred journey of becoming, it has a master gardener. And that gardener is your own magnificent consciousness, the great I am within you. Once the weeds of your old limitations are cleared, the true work begins. The pruning. Oh yes. This is the season where things are lovingly, but firmly, cut away. It's not just a feeling of discomfort now. It is the sharp, undeniable sting of loss. A relationship ends. A career path closes. A comfortable habit is made impossible to continue. You see things being removed from your life, and the human part of you cries out, "Why?" But the master, gardener, knows that a branch that bears the wrong fruit, the fruit of your old limited assumptions, must be snipped away. This is not cruelty. It is divine artistry. The operant power is at work, meticulously refining your life so that it can only bear fruit that aligns with the new, grander state you have selected. And the pruning shear feels sharp. Of course it does. It cuts away the parts of your life you clung to, the pieces of your identity you thought you needed to survive. It feels like struggle. It feels like pain. But I ask you to look at the mightiest trees in the forest. They are not the ones that have been sheltered from the storm. They are the ones that have been pruned by the harshest winds, stripped of their weakest branches, forced to drive their roots deeper. Your life force, your divine energy, is being focused. The pain you feel is the temporary sensation of your power being redirected from the dead ends of your past toward the main trunk of your glorious purpose. You are being prepared to produce a harvest so magnificent, so abundant, that your old, untamed self could never have sustained it. Every loss is a strategic liberation of your energy, freeing you to become more of who you truly are. These trials, these seasons of cutting back, are a divine crucible. They are not meant to break your spirit, but to forge it into unbreakable steel. Every moment you stand firm in the face of loss, you are building a new muscle within your consciousness. You are building patience, which is the ability to hold your new state of being without needing immediate proof from the outside world. You are building faith, which is the unwavering assumption that your inner world is the only true reality. And you are building endurance, which is the power to live in the feeling of your wish fulfilled, even when your senses show you the opposite. This period of seeming emptiness is not wasted time. It is a sacred classroom. You are being taught to rely not on the shifting shadows of the world, but on the unshakable rock of your own, I am consciousness. Because feeling is the key, and you are mastering it now. This is not a new law I speak of. It is an ancient and eternal truth. The chronicles of humanity are filled with stories of this very process. Think of the consciousness known as Joseph, who assumed greatness but was cast into a pit, sold into slavery, and locked in a prison. Each step was not a tragedy, but a divine pruning of his pride, his naivety, his reliance on others. He was being emptied of the victim state to be made ready for the ruler state. Think of David, anointed as a king in his youth, then hunted like an animal in the wilderness. He was not being punished, he was being transformed. The boy with a promise had to be pruned into the man with the consciousness of a king. Their outer world was a reflection of the intense refinement happening in their inner world. They had to become it on the inside before they could experience it on the outside. So the struggle you face is not a sign of your abandonment. but of your anointing. You are walking the well-worn path of the masters, the creators. You are being pruned for a purpose that is infinitely greater than your current mind can fully grasp. Every loss is a calculated removal, every pain a sharpening of your power. You are being made stronger, more resilient, more faithful to the unseen reality you have claimed as your own. But this pruning is not limited to circumstances or possessions. It goes deeper. It begins to touch the very people you hold in your heart. Here's what changes everything. What happens when the master gardener starts to close doors on the relationships in your life, leading you into a sacred, powerful, and sometimes lonely silence? The pruning shears of the divine now move closer to your heart. It is one thing to be stripped of a comfort or a certainty, but it is another entirely to watch a door close on a person you loved, a friendship you cherished. These are the deepest cuts. And I am here to tell you, these divine removals are not punishments. They are profound acts of protection and alignment. Every person in your life is tethered to a state of consciousness. To elevate you into the new state you have chosen, the great I Am within must lovingly release the anchors holding you to the old one. God, your own awareness, is clearing the room. He is silencing the voices that can only echo your past limitations, removing the energies that cannot vibrate at the frequency of your magnificent future. This is a sacred quarantine, preparing your life for a guest of honor, the new you that you are becoming. And in the hallowed silence that follows, a profound loneliness may descend. Do not mistake this for abandonment. Oh no, this is consecration. You have been set apart for a purpose. This sacred solitude is the training ground of masters. Here in the quiet, you are being taught to draw your strength, your validation, and your love not from the fleeting opinions of others, but from the one eternal, unshakable source, the creative power within you. In this silence, your inner world becomes more real, more vibrant than the world outside. The future that is being prepared for you requires your full, undivided attention. It demands an absolute trust in your own inner knowing. This loneliness is a gift, designed to forge an unbreakable bond between you and your true self. You are finally learning that the power you were seeking in others has been within you all along. But listen. Listen closely in that silence. Can you hear it? Beneath the surface of your days, there is a new rhythm, a quiet, persistent hum, a stirring in your spirit. It is a holy dissatisfaction, a deep yearning for something more, something true. This is the signal. This is the new assumption, the new state you have dared to imagine, beginning to move and take form within you. It is the first breath of your future self, the first tremor of a reality about to be born. The I Am is preparing you for a new chapter, and it begins with this divine restlessness. It is an inner magnet, pulling you away from the familiar shores of your past and toward a magnificent, unknown horizon that exists only in your imagination. For now. This stirring is a sacred promise that something wonderful is about to happen. As this inner stirring grows stronger, you will notice something strange. The things that once brought you satisfaction now feel empty. The conversations feel shallow. The old goals seem small. The former pleasures no longer fill you. Do not be alarmed by this. This is not a sign of depression. It is a sign of elevation. Your soul's palette is being refined. The great operant power within you is recalibrating your desires, weaning you off the lesser things to create an appetite for the infinite. Your consciousness is being aligned with its grander purpose, with the state you are now embodying. What you are feeling is your desire being purified, harmonized with the will of your highest self. Your old world is losing its taste because your inner being knows that a feast is being prepared for you. You are simply losing your hunger for scraps. So, the rooms of your life have been cleared. A new song is beginning to play in the chambers of your heart. You feel this undeniable pull towards something vast and undefined. You stand in this powerful empty space ready for the new, and yet the future remains a perfect blank. You have been pruned, you have been isolated, you have been stirred. All is in readiness, but when you look forward you see no map, no clear instructions, no visible path. You are being asked to move without seeing the next step. Now go deeper. What is required of you at this critical moment, when you are asked to trust a timing that makes no sense, to have faith in a divine plan you cannot yet see, and so you find yourself at the threshold, standing in the sacred space between the reality that was and the reality that is to come. The path has vanished before you. All is silent. And in this divine silence, a single monumental demand is made upon your soul: trust. You must trust in a timing that feels to your mortal senses like an agonizing delay. You must trust in a plan that is utterly invisible to your eyes. Your logical mind, the part of you that craves control, will scream for a map, for a guarantee, for a sign. It will label this holy interval wasted time. But the I Am, the eternal consciousness within you, knows the profound truth. This is not a pause. This is gestation. The seed of your new assumption has been planted in the womb of the infinite, and its growth cannot be hurried. Your only work now is to protect it with your faith, to know that the unfolding is not just good, it is perfect. You must understand, the plan is greater than what you can see because it is being orchestrated by the greatest part of you. Your human intellect can only perceive the next few feet of the path, clouded by the fog of past experiences and future fears. But your I Am, your own wonderful human imagination, sees the entire journey from the mountaintop. It sees the end from the beginning. It knows the necessary detours that build your strength. It understands the required delays that are aligning people and circumstances you cannot yet perceive. The doors that closed, the people who left, they were not random tragedies. They were precise, strategic moves on a divine chessboard, orchestrated by your own higher self to lead you to a victory far grander than the one you initially conceived. You are not waiting for a miracle. You are witnessing your own consciousness masterfully setting the stage. This period, when it feels like nothing is happening, is precisely when everything is happening. Do not be fooled by the stillness of the surface. Beneath the quiet ground of your current reality, a million intricate connections are being forged. The right people are being moved into position. The necessary resources are being gathered. Opportunities are being created. The stage is being meticulously set for your grand entrance. Think of a seed in the darkness of the earth. It shows no outward progress. It works in absolute silence, gathering strength, breaking its own shell, pushing through immense resistance. The timing of its emergence is not a guess, it is a law. It breaks ground at the exact perfect moment it is ready. So it is with your assumption. Every second of this waiting is calibrated to perfection. Your blessing is not delayed. It is being timed for its maximum undeniable impact. Consider again the consciousness of Joseph, forgotten in a dungeon. From the limited view on the ground, it was a wasted life, a promise denied. But from the mountaintop of the I Am, it was perfect, divine timing. He needed those quiet, hidden years to be forged into the man who could rule an empire. He had to be stripped of his arrogance. He had to master the inner world of imagination and meaning. He had to understand power from the perspective of the powerless. The plan was not merely to get him out of prison, but to place him on the throne. That required a ruler, not a spoiled boy. Had he been released a day sooner, he would not have been ready. The timing of his confinement was the very instrument that created the consciousness of the man he had to become. His waiting was his becoming. And this, right now, is your becoming. Therefore, this interval of waiting is the most active and sacred part of your transformation. It is not empty time. It is the holy ground where your character is solidified, where your faith graduates into an unshakable knowing. You are growing into the shape and size of your blessing, so that when it arrives, you can hold it. You are building the spiritual and emotional strength to wield the power that is your birthright. You are learning to trust the infallible timing of your own soul. But this trust is not a state of paralysis. It is a state of poised, silent readiness. Because in the midst of this divine waiting, a whisper will come, a nudge, an instruction that makes no sense. Now, let's go to the final secret. What happens when this faith must finally be put into motion? What is the role of your hands and feet when the path forward is still unknown? The season of waiting has prepared you. The silence has strengthened you. Your faith has been forged in the fires of uncertainty, and now it has become a quiet, unshakable knowing. A new phase begins. In the stillness of your poised readiness, a whisper will come, an impulse, a gentle but firm nudge from your I am to do something that your logical mind cannot justify or understand. It may be a sudden urge to call a stranger, a pull to visit a place you've never been, or the inspiration to start a project with no visible means of support. This is the moment of truth. This is the point where your faith must leave the cathedral of your heart and walk bravely into the marketplace of the world. Your obedience to this inner voice without needing a full roadmap is the final turn of the key in the lock of your destiny. Let us be clear about this divine obedience. It is not the blind subservience of a slave to an external master. No. It is the intelligent and willing cooperation of a conscious creator with the infinite power that resides within. It is your conscious mind finally agreeing to follow the supreme wisdom of your deeper self, your I am. Complete understanding is never a prerequisite for a miracle. A willing heart is all that is asked. A simple, trusting yes to the intuitive nudge. The divine consciousness within you does not require your perfect plan or your logical approval. It requires only your willingness and your trust. This readiness to act on an assumption that the world cannot yet see is the highest and most potent form of prayer. It is a powerful declaration that you believe your inner world is the only causative reality. For faith is not and has never been a passive state of wishing. It is not sitting idle in a room, hoping for the walls to magically change. Faith is an active, dynamic force. It is the supreme courage to move your feet in the direction your new assumption is leading you, even when you can only see the ground, for your very next step. It is stepping off the cliff of your comfort zone, with the absolute knowing that a bridge will materialize beneath your feet. The bridge does not appear before you step. It appears because you step. You have held the vision in your imagination. You have bathed in the feeling of its reality. Now you must act as if it were an established fact. This corresponding action, no matter how small, is the physical signature that validates your inner transformation. It is the resounding amen to your imaginal act. And here is the beautiful, unfailing secret. The moment you take that single, obedient step into the unknown, all the power of the universe rushes to meet you. The path illuminates, but only as you walk it. The strength you thought you lacked floods your very being. The right people and conversations appear as if summoned from a hidden realm. The resources you need materialize, often from the most unexpected sources. This is not magic. It is law. Your action demonstrates your final selection of a new reality, and so reality itself has no choice but to rearrange its details to match your command. Guidance is not given to those who stand still demanding the entire map. It is given, in abundance, to those who are in motion, trusting the flawless inner compass of their I am. Look back and see the journey for what it was. The discomfort was the clearing of the ground. The pruning was the refinement of the plant. The loneliness was the consecration of the temple. The waiting was the strengthening of the foundation. And now, this action is the final embodiment. Do you see? It was never a series of random, painful trials. It was a perfect, divine, and logical process of becoming. You were not being tested for a blessing. You were being transformed into the blessing itself. The great thing you were waiting to receive was never something you could get, but someone you had to become. And now you have become them. You are no longer the person who is asking. You are the consciousness that is. The storm was not the obstacle. It was your coronation. You were never being punished. You were being prepared. So stop waiting for the great blessing to arrive. You have been forged into it. You are the one you've been waiting for. The real question is, what will the person you are now choose to create next? Let me know in the comments below. What sign of preparation have you been misinterpreting as punishment? Subscribe and turn on all notifications because your transformation is not a single event. It is the very air you now breathe. And if this message awakened the giant within you, The next one will give it its marching orders. It's waiting for you on the screen now. Click it and learn to command your new reality.